Something is wrong with this guy. Yeah, we're recording.
Okay, fantastic. As usual, I'm trying to do my backup. I'm trying to join on two separate networks, so if one fails, I can always go back to the other. So, pardon my slight, because the connection in my house is not reliable at all. Okay, so I'll start. So first, I apologize that the presentation, I just knocked it together in the last hour or so. So it's not well, it's not the best, how do I put it? It's not the most beautiful, but I think it gets the message out. So I think that's what matters. Please let me know when you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, I
Hello?
can.
We can't talk.
We can see your screen.
Fantastic.
We can see your screen.
Okay, so I present. Let me just fix this one a little bit. Okay, so I just want to talk about culture. Yeah, so, and, you know, usually there'll be in any organization where you have multiple offices. Sometimes you have localized culture. You have some culture somewhere, culture somewhere else. So I just talk about the culture, at least what I see when I think about the culture. So, but to talk about that, I like to use frameworks as a guide. So this is one of the, if there was anything I learned when I did my master's, this is it. Just the fact that, culture, when you analyze any culture, it could be Yoruba culture, an organization's culture, the way you learn about that culture is through their stories. For example, when we were growing up, the way we learned about what mattered in Yoruba land was through Tales by Moonlight. That's how they taught us not to steal. They said that Japa stole and put the yam on his head, and that's why he became bald. Something bad will happen to you. That's how our parents and elders communicated it. Symbols is another important one. So what are the things that we think are important? I think we've probably gone through this before, I don't know, but maybe not everyone knows here. Power structure. What are the things we celebrate? So in Yoruba culture is the Obas. In Nigeria, we know we like to sort of hero worship our politicians and our big men. The structure of the organization as well, the way basically our organization. So if you look at Nigeria, for example, we have taken on the very expensive American democratic style of governance. We've ditched our monarchy style because it probably doesn't work, and the parliamentarian style just didn't work for us. But this is not about politics. This is about something else. Control systems. What are the things? How do we make sure that we have controls in place, that things don't, that things still work? Can you guys still hear me?
Yes, too.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
Cool.
Yes, we can.
This is important to always check in. So our control systems, our rituals and routines are the things that we do regularly, the things we do every day, and those things will either lead us to success or lead us to failure. Like they say that, if you do the same thing again and again and you expect a different outcome, then that's the definition of madness. So I've talked about stories. Okay, so now let me just take you through, like, call it a cut and push story. So let's start with this is what we do. We find handsome, nerdy, smart people like the gentleman here, and then we bring them into the company. Very brilliant, but maybe they're a bit unfinished. They maybe haven't worked in anywhere before. So yeah, we help them, give them a set of tools and processes, and that helps them to suddenly become rock star engineers. Like this gentleman, he's even working like a rock star. Could fit into any American movie right now. The other thing is, yeah, we work very hard. Look at this serious-looking woman there, and Mr. Emmanuel supporting. We collaborate. We work together to make sure that we. Sorry, hold on a second. Kito? please, I'm on a call and it's being recorded. You're making noise. Do something else for now. It's disturbing. Sorry about that. So yeah, we collaborate. After that, of course, we compete. So we have fun, we go out to compete and we win. So this was my my volleyball team of 2000 and whatever it was, 16 or 15. We were the first one. Was it the first one? Anyway, whatever it was. Anyway, I see Mr. Wally there, still looking very young. Mina hasn't cost him a lot of stress. And the affair hasn't given him too much food to eat. Still looking slim as well. Yeah. So also after that, we have fun. So for those of you who haven't experienced or seen all this, don't worry, your time will come. You can see everyone in this picture looks very young. Look at the way Yemi looks. Very, very young. Tunde, even Ronke, the unmarried version, and okay, looking nerdy as always. And Bolade feeling very uncomfortable inside his boat, about to jump off. And then we always deliver. At least we try to. We try to deliver all the time. So that's our definite team, definite students from the last batch. With Madam Nifemi feeling like a, I don't know, rock star selfie taker. And we party. And look at that, look at that. Look at Madam Ronke enjoying our party. Yeah, we party. And then we have a good time. We chop. Mr. Babs is just packing the chicken anyhow. Then we also exit at some point. 20 friends cannot be together for 20 years, they say. So yeah, so people leave. But when they leave, we hope that they're still friends, that they can still come back, like Jide came back. So yeah, we see them as members of the family. And so the question is, we do all this all the time. So that's me asking, so what's the way forward? What do we do? How do we make sure that as people come, people go through processes, they grow, and of course, we understand that people have to leave. How do we make sure that we don't lose what makes us us? That culture is still kept in. That culture, we retain it. We keep our sense of excellence going. We don't lose our focus. We don't lose what makes us us. So what's our forward? So I'll just go through some thoughts. So like I said, I hurriedly put this together, and I've got only 15 minutes because we've got work back to do. But I think it's important we do this because a lot has happened in the last 18 months, especially, and I've not had time to devote time and energy to the culture like I would have wanted to, like I used to in the past. But yeah, these things happen in businesses. People come, people go. Businesses go through tough times and easy times and all that. And I think the last 18 months have been particularly tough, but I'm really excited and convinced that we're about to turn the corner. So yeah, back to the culture web. So let's take it one by one. So let me start with power structures, I think. So the principle here is, look, we have a flat structure. We all understand that. But sometimes especially for people joining us straight out of school, this is not the ideal. This is not like your normal work culture where you come, you probably don't have a direct boss. You have people that could mentor you and lead you, but they're not like your direct boss, right? So there's a bit of freedom. And of course, we all go by first name, but this is not, do not take that for granted. You have that freedom, it's a gift, because we could also organize ourselves like a Ministry of Technology thing, and there's a lot of hacking, and you come in, even as an intern, you don't get to push any code production. You go and buy Amala first or something like that. But it also means you won't get smart people. But our culture enables us to get smart people, but we need to keep that going, because also the smart people come in because there are people they can look up to. But do not abuse that personal responsibility. Actually, it's an opportunity for you to develop it, because And I don't think it's an accident that you find people who come to work for us, and after a couple of years, they can get senior engineering jobs abroad. I don't think it's an accident. I think it's because of the way they have been brought up. If they were not given any sense of responsibility, if they were not given an opportunity to grow, if somebody was micromanaging them, they wouldn't have developed the capacity to go take on senior engineering jobs. So do not take it for granted. What we're doing here is helping you build your capacity to lead in future. So for example, why should somebody need to prompt you to wash your plate after eating? Or tidy up your room? So when we started, before we had enough money to hire a cleaner, I remember Goke, Yemi, and Co. They organized and they cleaned up themselves after themselves. They even swept the office. It's not ideal, it's not proper, but that's what happened. Why are we now losing that? Why are we expecting someone to come clean up after us? So that shouldn't be the case. That's pretty much a lack of personal responsibility, and that should change. Because you're here now, but everyone at some point will have an opportunity to go somewhere else. So let's fix that, right? It shouldn't be something that someone has to talk about. So that's it. So everyone is expected to have that sense of personal responsibility. So that's one. So let's go to leadership. Now, when you look at the organizational structure, again, it's loose. People get whatever. So we've had leadership roles in the past, and I'm good. Some of that will come back. So from next week, I'll start making some changes and have, like, at least even if project leadership will have that. Please understand that the most important thing. This is how I learned to lead. By influence, not by authority. Because my job has always come out of that project leadership role. I didn't have a team for most of my career. I just had to influence people. So that's why my style is a bit different. But I've seen it as also effective. So the fact that we've said someone lead someone doesn't mean that you are now Lord and Master. It basically means you need to influence them. But also, that doesn't stop you, who doesn't have the job title, not to lead. Everyone needs to build their leadership capacity. Okay. So next, now let's go to quality. So at the center of everything we're doing is quality. So quality is not something, ideally, it's not something that we wait for, everything fails and wait for Gloria to come and detect it. Quality needs to be a set of processes that we have planned into our work, not to wait for an inspector to come and fix. So that's on quality. So it means doing it right when no one is looking. So the story I have here, just check the time to make sure. Oh, I'm already running up ahead of my time. I apologize for that. The story I have here is, so for those who have opened up the Mac or the iPod, I understand that I've never seen the inside before, but the way it's laid out just speaks to quality, right? So that's it. So we're going to bring back some of those things like first time passes. That helped our quality to go up a while back. We'll bring some of those things back. Again, rituals and routines. So quality is not an act, it's a habit. So all the things that we do, they are meant to bring in quality into our work. So sprint planning, MVPs, everything is meant to bring in quality, but let's do it properly. So sometimes there's a chance that when we are in a hurry, and I'm not blaming all of you alone. Sometimes this is due to pressure that I'm applying externally. So when we're in a hurry, we could compromise on quality. Let's bring the discipline back to do things properly. Whether it's in our sprint planning, in our coding, in our writing test cases, in our writing tests for our code. Check with this. Writing test cases and all that. We need to ensure that these things are done properly. All right. So let me just talk about the kind of stories I'd like to hear. It's the output of our work. So here's something I copied off the Product Manager Africa role. So I sent something to everyone that, oh, guys, we have a coding course going on. And somebody said this, there's a lady called Joy. She was on the PM course. And she said, if you're looking for, I didn't ask her, I didn't pay her. If you're looking for hands-on experience, go to the funnel. Right? That is now results. Then someone said, this guy was very troublesome in my class. He said, we have an amazing method that makes the training like an internship. It's practical. That's it. And Joy replied, I said, exactly. So that when you are through with the program, you not only have learned the skill, but you've acquired field experience, which for me is double honors. So I like this. We need to get this kind of testimonial or output in everything we do. And finally, one more message. I like this one because this speaks Naira and Kobo. So just while I was preparing these slides, I got an alert from WAPIC. So they have finally paid us our balance. so, I thought I should add that to it. So yeah, those are kind of stories we have. So that's the end of my presentation. I think, please allow me, I think 6 minutes of questions or contributions or thoughts or ideas. The aim here, guys, is we need to keep the culture going. The culture is more important. The process is more important than the outcome. If you have good processes, you can churn out quality all the time. If you don't have good processes, you can churn out quality some of the time. So if you find a company that's always doing good work, it's because they've taken time out to fix their culture. If you find a company that occasionally impresses, it's because maybe once in a while they'll have a star. So I'm not so much of a football fan, but I remember the World Cup, I don't know which one it was, the German team, right? They didn't really have any standout, they didn't have like standout stars per se, but they had a team, and that team won the World Cup. So we have to make up our minds. We want to have one solid coder who we say is badass, or we want to have a team of people working together, churning out good work all the time, and improving themselves in the process. I'll leave that question with you guys. So you need to decide individually whether you want to have personal responsibility. Thank you. Thoughts, questions, contributions, disagreements? Again, we like disagreements and we like arguments. It builds us. Or should I turn it off to, and we can have another session where we can do like a family meeting and just talk. Maybe we should do that actually. We can do that next week or 2 weeks time. Let's do a family meeting sometime. We'll do a family meeting. So I'll hand over to who? Is it Nifemi or Shade? So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Stoke.
Yeah.